So I've been getting a lot of questions about UV printing on Slate. How well does it hold up? What's the process like? Do you need to pre-treat or do anything to the slate before you print on it? Are you using varnish over the top of it? Is it durable? Well, that's what this video is gonna cover. I haven't done extreme in-depth testing. My Omni's only been here just over a week, so I'm still working on doing more in-depth testing on different things. But my initial testing on Slate is two things. One, it's pretty easy to do. Two, it's actually pretty durable. And so in this video, I'm going to show you how to take your slate from looking like this to looking like this, and also teach you some tips that I learned along the way of doing this video. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Patrick. This is Created Workshop. Let's get started making these slate coasters. Okay, so we're going to get started by placing these slate coasters on the bed here. And I could technically go with 3 wide, but I am just going to go with 2 wide. And I'm not doing any prep on these coasters here. If anything, this is just me. I'll do a little bit of wiping. And that one doesn't seem to want to sit. I could work on that, but I have another one over here. Wipe it off on my shirt real quick and set it down. Now, I know there are people out there who put adhesive promoters and all kinds of stuff on different materials, but this is what I do. I just set it down and print. And so now I'm going to jump over to the computer, hit scan, and it will take care of scanning for me. While it's scanning, we're going to go ahead and get the graphics brought over, and we'll scale everything to fit. I'm going to resize all of these to about 3.7 inches in the longest dimension. These are 4-inch coasters, and that should put them where they should fit well over the coaster without coming off. Okay, so the coasters are all scanned in, and now I'm going to come in here and size each graphic correctly for the coaster. And this is all, however you want it to look. There are jigs out there, and you can see I'm having to put like a 1-degree tilt here. If you had a jig for these coasters, you wouldn't have to worry about putting that tilt on it, at least on some of them. So that's just part of doing it like this. Now, these coasters I'm doing here are Christmas themed, obviously, but you can do coasters for almost anything. I have a client who I'm going to be doing some custom coasters for here soon. She reached out for me to do a notebook, and I ended up pitching her on coasters, and she wanted custom sourced coasters, so she is sourcing them herself. They are going to be a special kind of slate from her brother's quarry, and then I will be just UV printing on them. And the great thing about UV printing is it's a lot more forgiving than laser engraving. With UV printing, you really just are printing on it. You're not trying to get the perfect settings. All you're aiming for is how many layers of white. Speaking of, I'm going to go with 2 layers of white here, and I am using rigid white out of my UV2 head. For a flat print, no spot color, no anything like that. 1 layer of color. Something to know is if you start to add a bunch of color layers, then you're going to actually have the colors change. So I would be very careful in increasing color layers and really only increase your white layers. Now, the more white layers you put there, the thicker it's going to be. And so I wouldn't go more than 2, maybe 3 white layers for something like this. 1 is often enough. I just want to make sure that there's enough white base to cover everything so these colors are nice and bold. So I didn't use Smart Mask here because they are irregular shapes around the edges, and I'm not worried about overspraying. I'm going to be making sure everything is nice and contained, high quality, 100% feather. And then there are some extra settings down here. We're going to leave curing power at 50%. No need to do high point or high drop printing. Definitely don't want to be ink saving. I want it to look really good. And then we're going to use the just standard ICC profile. And, not really sure what all these are. I'm sure I'll do a video on those in the future, but the rendering intent, let's see what it says. How colors are converted for printing and how color differences between the original image and the printer output are handled. Okay, so that's interesting. Perceptual, relative colorimetric, absolute, and saturation. So actually, looking at what that definition is, essentially the screen you are looking at, the screen that you are watching this video on, is a RGB screen. There are red, green, and blue pixels making up everything that you're seeing. Whereas printing with your O1 Omni is done with CMYK, cyan, magenta, blue, and black. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. Cyan is blue. Cyan, magenta, yellow, black. And so RGB and CMYK are different in how they render the colors. So they have to convert from the RGB that these are designed in to CMYK. So that is what the rendering intent is there. Little science lesson for you. Let's dive into the rest of what we're doing. We can come up here into material and put in Slate. Oh, there it is, Rockstone. And Rockstone is going to have, your reference settings. And then we're going to keep my 2 white. Process. So we're going to let it render this out. And then we're going to see what the estimated time and the estimated ink cost is going to be. Now, if you were to do this 3 wide, it would be a little bit quicker than just doing it 2 wide. So 19.5 minutes for 4 of these. And let's take a look at cost. Cost is 9.76 cents. And this is at the cost per 125 mil. I've seen some videos where their cost is per 500 mil. I don't know why some version of xTool Studio is different, but my version of xTool Studio is per 125 mil. And I've done all the calculations. If you want to use my numbers here, this is, at the time of recording, the retail price of the xTool ink. Not the pre-order price, but the retail price. And so at this point, I'm going to hit print, and you guys can watch the time lapse as it prints. Okay, so there you have it. That was a pretty simple project to do. You saw all I did was just drag the graphics in, drop them on the canvas, scan, align, and print. And they came out pretty great. This is probably one of the better ones, and let me tell you why. There is a lot of color on here. The other ones, I could have done a better job at picking a graphic on. So you can see Farm Fresh Christmas tree, but like Christmas trees are hard to read there. And then on this one, I really love this graphic, and then I snapped. I, have a hard time reading that. And same thing with this. The fact that the Christmas is there, and there's some words down here that the Omni did a fantastic job of printing. I just chose the wrong graphic here. So I want to use that as a way to teach you guys something and teach myself something. When selecting a graphic for UV printing, think of the medium that you're going to be printing it on. So for this graphic here, there's a lot of color. Really, just is the, and then for the, those are the only words that are a little bit more difficult to read. But Jesus, reason, season, easy. And then everything else looks super vibrant. I'm really happy with how this came out. But I could have done a better job at picking a graphic that had lighter colors in it, or modifying that graphic either in xTool Studio or in other software where, if I would have taken this graphic here and changed the Farm Fresh and the Christmas trees to be white or an off-white or a red and a green or any other color combination, it would have come out so much better. And so that's just a learning, thing that I'm going through. Is this is one of my first UV printers. I've got the Morpho. I had that a couple days before the Omni. And so UV printing is very new to me. So I'm making some mistakes along the way, but learning and hoping to help teach you guys as well. Because I know the Omni and all of these new desktop machines are many of yours first UV printers. And so if I'm making these mistakes, there's a good chance you might too. So hopefully you can learn from what I went through. But let's talk pricing for a second. Looking at Amazon, Slate coasters vary in price from around 59 cents a coaster up to about $1.70 a coaster, depending on if you're buying like a 4-pack or like a 60-pack. And so that's really going to be where the biggest price difference is going to be, is how many you're buying at one time. And as far as ink cost goes, obviously, my designs are different than the designs you're doing, but for this 4-pack of Slate coasters, I used less than 10 cents of ink. That's about 2.5 cents per coaster. So the ink cost is almost negligible. Definitely don't ignore the ink cost. You need to be accounting for that in your product pricing. So that way, when you do run out of ink, you have the money set aside to buy more ink. But here's the thing. You can sell these coasters for around $6 to $7 a piece. No 6-7 jokes in the comments. Actually, feel free to leave 6-7 jokes in the comments. But you can sell these printed coasters for somewhere in that neighborhood of about $6 to $7 a piece. I'm actually charging a client about $4 a piece for printing on Slate coasters that she is providing for me. So I'm not having to source the slate. She's providing that. I am just printing on them. And so Slate is a super high profit margin item, especially if you're buying it in bulk. If you're paying 60 cents a piece for the slate and then, 2.5 cents for the ink. So now you're all in at $62.50 or 62.5 cents really. And then you're selling it for about $6. That's a 10x return. And these are going to be a hit at Christmas. I'm going to work on fixing some of these graphics, making them a little bit better for printing on Slate. But I can definitely see, the Farm Fresh Christmas trees being a great type of graphic. Or you could also do monograms. So you could do a family's monogram. You could do Christmas theme. So that way they can have a pack of coasters to pull out at Christmas that have their monogram on it. Maybe something like Jesus is the reason for the season. like the one that I did here. There's all kinds of different ways that you can go here with Slate. Really, it's an endless supply of possibilities. You could put real estate logo on Slate. You could put a brand's logo. Maybe there's a favorite butcher that's down the street from you. You could take their logo, put it on some Slate, and that's possibly some merch that they could sell. So there's a lot of different ways to go with Slate, and it looks fantastic when you have a proper graphic to put on it. As for durability, I have had no issues with durability at all. So here you can see I'm going to be scratching it with my finger. Absolutely nothing coming off with my fingernail. And I'm trying to get at it at the edges, and the graphic looks beautiful. I'm not seeing anything come up. This is a pair of thick tweezers. I'll grab a different graphic here. And so let's see. I am scratching the Slate, but the graphic is untouched. I was on this S right here, and just so you can see it, we'll come down and we'll scratch over this. So I am scratching up the Slate, which thankfully just swipes away, but you saw that, and that S is still plenty intact. Now I'm sure if you took a razor blade or you really got in there and gouged it, you might get the ink to come up, but if you're doing that, probably get the Slate to come up too. A simple test like that just kind of shows normal wear and tear is not going to take this graphic off. Now, of course, always communicate to your customers that it is going to naturally wear, and it's not always going to look the way that it does when they first buy it, but nothing does that. You can go to Walmart and buy a set of coasters, or Hobby Lobby, buy a set of coasters that have a graphic on it, and over time, that graphic is going to wear down. And so that will still happen with UV printing, but overall it is extremely durable, and it should definitely hold up to many months or years of use. So with all that said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this far into the video. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you have not yet, please hit that subscribe button down below. YouTube tells me that only about 90% of you are not subscribed. Only about 10% of you are. And so it would mean a lot to me and my wife and our family if you would hit that subscribe button. It helps these videos go so much further and reach so many more new people. Also, if you want to take an extra step, I do have a YouTube membership. I want to say a big thank you to my current YouTube members that will be displayed on the screen here for joining and supporting Created Workshop in an extra capacity. It's only $2.99 a month at the time of recording. I only have one plan. I'm working on adding more plans and more features to my membership, but right now it really just goes to help support me making these videos. These blanks are not all free. Often companies will send some blanks out with their machines, but I'm also buying my own blanks and spending money on ink and the other stuff like that. So these videos do cost something to put on, so you taking that extra step really helps just keep this channel moving forward. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'm really excited for the content to come for the rest of this month, and I'm excited to see you guys at Next Level Maker Conference in just a few short weeks. I can't believe it is under 3 weeks away. If you see me at the conference, make sure to mention this video, and if I have any of my exclusive YouTube swag with me still, then you will be sure to get one of those. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.